There is perhaps an internet moment for energy where you can get all these digital energy systems and their digital clouds start talking to each other and actually create an energy internet. That's pretty much what we are trying to do with the idea of digital energy grid. Of course, all of you know TCP/IP, all of you understand protocols. You know the power of TCP/IP. It's one of those most fascinating packaging design for data that has happened about 50 years ago. One small packaging design that created this hourglass effect of innovation. All devices from your smartphones to your wearables to laptops, everybody uses TCP/IP. All the devices use TCP/IP. At the same time, TCP/IP has created this whole wave of innovation on top, from banking to commerce to ChatGPT. And it created this unforeseeable innovation. There's nothing in the design of TCP/IP that will tell you there is going to be a ChatGPT 50 years later or a Solana fabric 50 years later, but the TCP/IP could make that happen. So that sort of a innovation capability by a simplicity of a design is what perhaps is the need of the hour for energy. I say this idea of a network, a common general purpose network for all things energy seems to be such an obvious thought, but nobody seems to be doing it. Nobody seems to be thinking about creating one general purpose, all of energy, infrastructure that can power multiple energy resources and their cloud systems to interact with each other. And that's where, serendipitously, accidentally, we realized that Beckn could fit in. Somebody reached out to us in 2023, some smart EV charging companies reached out and said, there are this ton of standards in energy. There's OCPI, and there's ODR standards and smart metering standards. But we don't have one common general purpose transaction standards that makes the energy demand and supply really talk to each other, agnostic of form, purpose, and scale. And then they discovered that probably Beckn could be of good use. We never thought that Beckn could be used as a language for energy transaction, which is where we land ourselves up right now, and we are seeing significant amount of work in this space. So this idea of using a Beckn protocol and a decentralized network, think of it as an off-chain network. It could also be an on-chain or hybrid. That's something that we're having a conversation with the super teams on, and that's the reason why I'm here. But think of this network as a way to make this interaction happen. Paper has been written based on last 2 years' work on ground. So we have a live implementation of DEG on the ground. Something like Nair 3, a bit like ONDC, we have a network called as Unified Energy Interface. Completely bottom up by 40-50 companies coming together as an alliance, trying to dream up a whole lot of things, a different set of applications using the idea of Beckn protocol and creating UEI. And today we have EV charging, managed EV charging, peer-to-peer energy trading, rentals on like an Airbnb of cloud storage, and a whole lot of green charging. So a whole lot of things that are happening up. We do about 65 megawatt hours of energy transactions per day. That's literally about close to 3 gigawatt per month. And we do a lot of transactions, and the network is growing. What is interesting is this network was only meant to be an EV charging network. We didn't think beyond that. But the fact that the protocol was general purpose, we went from EV charging to an EV charger finding a green energy source like a battery with solar charge and connecting with it and buying green energy while the grid is still black. So how do you talk to them and make the electrons flow through the conventional electricity grid, but how do you make this information transaction happen? Those are some of the things that are happening organically, almost serendipitously. So that's the sort of unforeseeable unlocks we have been seeing already. All of this will be purpose-specific standards. It's literally like building a road for every car. And that's not a great idea, right? You need to have common roads so that somebody can build a Ferrari and a school bus and things like that. In the digital world, in the energy world, we are saying, can we tie it all up with one general purpose? Think of energy TCP/IP like idea. And that's essentially what DEJ is.